Hi guys, rhianaB here. This is probably going to be one of the more personal videos that I will ever record, upload, all the things. Even thinking about like my future and what I may post on this channel in the future, this will still be one of the most personal videos that I have ever done. But I want to do this because ever since I started this channel, I've always wanted to keep it personal, to show you guys the real me, not hold anything back, because I don't want to be artificial. I don't want to be someone who comes off as fake to you guys. I want to be myself for you guys, and that's why I'm doing this video today, and I'm a little nervous about doing it. For those of you who don't follow me on Twitter or Instagram, I've already posted talking about this, but I did want to do a video going more in depth with this whole discovery, well, not really discovery, but this realization that I've come to in my life. I want to put it more in detail, how I got here, as well as how it may affect my future and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I guess I should just say it. So, this is officially my coming out video as me being bisexual. And it's still weird to kind of say it out loud because it is kind of a new thing for me, but ever since I've come out, I feel so much better. I feel more honest with people. I feel more complete. I know that's kind of cheesy to say in some respects, but I really do feel like I am living my authentic self now, which I never really felt like I truly was before. And I guess I probably should just start from the beginning, is where all this sort of started to all happen. So when I was around 11, somewhere between the ages of 11 and 14, kind of is all a jumble in that period of my life, I started to have some attraction to women. Before then, I had only ever had like little tiny girl crushes on guys and all that sort of stuff. But then I started getting some attraction to girls. But I didn't see my attraction to women as being romantic as I did with men. It was just more of like, you know, I'm going through puberty and all that sort of stuff, so my sexual discovery is starting to happen, and I started to develop a sexual attraction to both men and women. And that stuck in my head for a long time until I was about, I want to say 14 or 15, and I remember talking to my mom about these things that I've been thinking about. And I came out as bi-curious at the time, because then I did feel like that was the best way to represent my feelings and my emotions and my mindset at that time. It made sense. So I came out as bi-curious. My mom was completely accepting of it. Both my parents were. And ever since then, I never really talked about it all too much. But as I started to get older, and when I started to learn a little bit more about sexualities and all that sort of stuff, and learning about myself too, I started feeling like the term bi-curious didn't quite fit what my true emotions were. So I just would take a couple times where I would just be by myself in my room or wherever I was and just thinking about this. And I just needed to find a new identity as far as that was concerned, because I realized that being bi-curious wasn't what I actually was. But in my head, what I was thinking was, well, I don't fit the textbook definition of what a bisexual is. Because at the time, I thought bisexuals were people who were attracted to both genders, both romantically and sexually. And at the time, I didn't see myself being in a romantic relationship with a woman. I could only see it with a man. But I was attracted sexually to both men and women. And that really threw me off of the whole thing. So I'm thinking, well, what do you call me? I remember Googling stuff like this because I was just so confused, and I really wanted to have that definition for myself, to give that identity to myself, because I felt lost without a defined definition of what my sexuality was. And I know that that whole thing about labels and definitions, that's different for everyone. For me personally, though, I wanted that like identifying marker to tell me this is who I am. Because if I don't have it, then I kind of just felt like I was lost and I couldn't be open and honest and authentic with people if I didn't know who I was in that respect. So there's about 2 incidences that really helped me come to the realization that I was bisexual. First off was, I was having a conversation with one of my drag friends. She was a member of our little group, and I was all done, ready for us to go out and everything. We were waiting on some other people to get ready. And me and this girl, we were outside on the porch, and we were just talking. And then we were talking about sexualities. And the one answer I gave to her when I was talking about my sexuality was, I am straight with bi-curious tendencies. And the minute I said that out loud, in my head, it didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel like I was speaking the truth about myself. And having said that out loud, maybe in a way that was a benefit to teach me that this wasn't right. That, you know, I'm not this thing that I thought I was. That maybe I need to start thinking about this again a little bit more. Because it didn't feel right when I said that to her. And in a way, I guess, in a way, I was kind of scared to kind of admit that I could be bisexual, because I didn't know if I truly fit the mold that was a textbook bisexual. So all that going in my head, and then, of course, I'm going to have to reflect this back to Shadowhunters in some way, shape, or form. It was actually an episode of Shadowhunters. It was in season 2. I forgot what the actual episode was. But there was a scene where Magnus Bane, who is a openly bisexual character in the books, in the show, he had this line when he was talking to one of his exes. He said, "I fall in love with the soul before the sex." And also later in the episode he goes, you know, I'm just a one soul at a time kind of guy. In that span of time between those 2 lines, it really opened me up to realize that if I am open enough to be with a woman as much as I am to be with a man, then regardless, I am a bisexual. That I don't need to fit a certain stereotype as to what it means. I can be bisexual and kind of define it however I choose to, just like Magnus did in the show. So literally, those 2 lines, as well as Magnus Bane in general, just his whole demeanor and his attitude toward his life in the show and in the books, that really awakened this realization in me that I am bisexual. Because another thing that I've learned as I've gotten older is that sexuality is very much a wide spectrum. And there's even small spectrums in every sexuality. So there are straight people that only go toward the opposite sex. They don't even think about, you know, being with the same sex or anything like that. They are set on opposite sex. And that's the same exact thing with gay people. There are gay people who just go for the same sex and don't even think about doing the opposite sex thing at all. They know that they're gay. They know that they're straight. However, there are those in straight and in gay who have had relations with the same or opposite sex, you know, wherever you're at in the spectrum here. But they have been with, you know, the sex that, the opposite of their sexuality. Let's put it like that. And they have experimented or they've done things like that, but they choose to go a certain route because that is what they identify as. Or they've come to the realization. It's all different for everyone. And it's the same exact thing with bisexuality. There are bisexuals who are very, very open, and you can even say that that's pansexual even, where they are open enough to all different genders and all different sexual orientations that they can see themselves being with. Now, for me, I have come to a place in my life where I am open to the idea of being with a woman. But I've never met a woman that I've had that instant attraction to. I never have. But honestly, that's kind of in the same way with men, too. I've never met a guy who I have felt that strong connection with. I've had crushes, and that's something. But I'm thinking about, like, you know, you have this strong connection regardless if it's a friendship or even a romantic relationship. I've never felt that, like, hit of, this is someone I want to be with, this is someone I want to have in my life, da-da-da-da-da. And maybe part of that is that I'm a very guarded person. And again, that kind of goes toward why I have never been, I probably should say this, I've never been in a serious relationship. I've been on dates with guys, never with women, but I've never been in a serious relationship with a man or a woman, none of that. And I think part of that is because I am such a guarded person. I don't trust people very easily. I'm very cautious about people that enter my life that I'm not aware of. I mean, when I was younger, I used to be shy around my own cousins and my own family members at times. I just am very protective of my emotions and who I am as an individual, that I tend to be kind of like, I have a wall up. And YouTube has helped me a lot to break down those walls. And just doing things creatively has really helped me to make me kind of come out a little bit more. That wasn't meant to be a pun. But there have been times where I just can't, like, be vulnerable with certain people. I'm just very... I really don't know how else to describe it. I am a very guarded person. I don't let many people, like, get deep inside of my head or in my heart or things like that. Maybe that's part of the reason why I've never been in a serious relationship, because I just don't show that often. But I am open to the idea of a woman walking into my life or a man walking into my life, and if that connection and if that spark is there, then I'm going to try to go after it. Because those feelings are still in here. Even though I haven't had the so-called experience to really validate these feelings, I have had them for a long time. And it's something I'm open to and something that I'm completely comfortable with at this point in my life. So if it happens, it happens. And that's another thing I want to talk about, because one concern that my parents gave me, as well as I've read some comments on other videos about stuff like this, and people will say, well, how do you know, or have you gone through things that make you come to this conclusion? Honestly, I can say no. I've never had really any romantic or sexual experiences, and I'm open to saying that. But the thing is, there are certain things in life that you don't really need experience, quote unquote. There are things that are built into our brains, into our hearts, into our DNA that we don't need experience for, because we already are good at it, or we're knowledgeable about certain things. You don't need to have those experiences to validate a certain conclusion or things like that. There are people who are seemingly gifted in math, and there's others that really have to work hard at it. There are people who can sing naturally and don't really need that much training. And there are other people who really work hard to train on their voice to make them just as good, if not better. It's the same thing with sexuality. Sexuality is something that people are born with. You are born gay, you are born straight, you are born bi, you are born a certain sexuality. For some people, just like how those spectrums work, there are people that fit into those different spectrums. And for them to get to that point in the spectrum, some people, they know right away, and others, it takes some time. I myself am an example of a person who had to take some time to get to this realization that I'm at right now. But I've met people, and I'm friends with people, who have always known, this is my sexuality, this is who I'm attracted to, no ifs, ands, or buts, this is what it is. And that's great for them. But there are others like me who have had to take time. I mean, I've heard stories of people who took a long time to get to their realization about who they are in a sexual orientation way. It's just different for everyone. And that's a reason why I wanted to make this video and talk about this in more depth, because there are so many different types of people who fit into all these spectrums, and they take their own paths to get to there, that I want to put my story out there, because I am a woman who is 24 going on 25 in this video as of filming this. I've never been in a serious relationship. I don't have much romantic or sexual experience. And yet I can sit here and say proudly and openly, I am a bisexual woman. And I can feel completely comfortable with that and feel like that is one of the things that has like really solidified who I am as a person. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to be shoving that down people's throats, because that's another concern I've seen people have, is that when I come out, I'm going to be shoving bisexuality things right down everyone's throats. No, I don't want to do that. But I don't want to hide it either. It is a part of who I am, and it is a part of the way I live my life to a certain extent. So it's something that is me, and that I want to talk about it in this sense. But I don't want to shove it down people's throats, because I respect other people's opinions as far as that is concerned. So I feel like I'm kind of going all over the place with this video, and I apologize for that, but this is me speaking from the heart, and me wanting to talk about something that's very, very personal to me, and I hope that maybe there's someone who's watching this video right now who has gone through similar emotions and feelings like I have, and are really confused about where they are and who they are as a person. I would hope that maybe my story could maybe help others to come to their realization, or at least like spark that beginning phase of figuring out who they are and going down that path to where they want to be. Because like I said, it's different for everyone, but we take things at our own pace. But sometimes we just need a little bit of a kick for us to figure out who we are. And yeah. I really don't know what else to say. I feel like I'm rambling on at this point. But I do want to say thank you guys so much. From all of you who have posted stuff on my social media showing me love and support, it really does mean a lot to me to reveal something so personal and for people to accept me and not judge. Especially that now that I'm releasing this during Pride Month, I really want people to embrace themselves, live their best life, love who they are, because that's what this month is all about for all of us in LGBTQ+. So thank you guys so much for the love and support. It, like I said, it really does mean a lot to me. And hopefully for anyone who doesn't know me or my channel, if you find this, hopefully my words or the things I've said that I've gone through can help you to start your path to where you want to go and how you want to find yourself. Because like I said, it's different for everyone, but maybe something I said could help somebody else, and that would mean the absolute world to me if that could actually happen. So I guess I should go ahead and end the video right here. So thank you guys so much for listening to my long elaborated story about me coming out as bisexual. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for the love and support on this video and all my other videos and everything else I've ever done. So I'm going to end the video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Bye. Mwah.